What's up, gang? It's Willie Rebuild, baby. We back with another one. That's right, we back on the Lt1 engine. And what we getting ready to do today is we gotta install our plugs for the DOD delete and the lash cap. And then we'll go ahead and install our cam. So for my boy, Mr. 383 C10, man, a few videos back, he was telling me how he was showing me a link for the V2 cam, $600, which was for this over here, a LS engine. This is not a LS engine. This is a Lt1 Gen 5 engine from a 2020 Camaro. And in this box over here, what I paid for and what the customer paid for anyway, is not just a cam kit. You got your cam. Let me get this out of here. See if I can get this out of here with one hand. Don't want to drop nothing in here. But I'll sit that right there. So what you got is, you got your cam, you got your lifter trays, you got your push rods here, you got your springs, you got your lifters. This is not included in the cam kit. This is separate. You got your head gaskets. You got your lock for your cam sprocket. You got head bolts. These was the little plugs that I sit right here that block off your oil passages. That's part of your DOD delete. Then you got your lash cap right here, which you're gonna install right here on this cam gear, on this, not the cam gear, on your lifter for your fuel pump, for your fuel pressure. So that cap makes up the difference in your cam, on your cam lobe for your aftermarket cam. So Mr. 383, man, is not just a cam kit. First, you gotta do a DOD delete on this engine. And that's what we getting ready to do now. I'm getting ready to tap my pins in here, install my my lash cap on my fuel pump lifter right here. And then I'll go ahead and pull the timing cover off and install the new cam. So just wanted to break that down to him, because a lot of people don't know when they go buy these engines, it's kind of like a LS with the DOD delete, but it's a few extra things that you have to do to the engine when installing the cam. So your kit, if you buying the complete kit to do all of that, it's gonna be more than just like a basic cam swap on one of those Gen 3 engines. You know, it's gonna be more similar to doing a cam in a Gen 4 engine. So let me go ahead and tap those blocks in there, and then I'll cut y'all back on, gang. All right, gang. So as you can see, we got all our plugs tapped in. Pretty straightforward. Just take your time and tap them in there. Make sure they try to get them straight and get them started, and just tap them in. And you will notice the different tone in the hammer when you tapping them in once they bottom out. I mean, Once they're in, they're in. You can also buy the valley cover, which is a little bit more expensive method to blocking it off, and it come with the O-rings on it. But most people just go with these plugs and then keep the factory valley cover. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our lash cap, which is right here, and we're gonna tap that right here on top of the our lifter for the fuel pump. So let me go ahead and do that, because this is not a one-hand job. You need both hands to do it. And then I'll tap that on, and then we'll start removing the crank pulley and the timing cover, gang. All right, gang, so lash cap installed, and I done already loosened the screw for our little retainer for the fuel pump lifter. And as you can see, once you pull it out, that's the way it look. And there go your cam inside the engine. Kind of work like your small block Chevy with your mechanical fuel pump. So now that we done installed that, the lash cap, this is the factory cam. That's our aftermarket cam that we're gonna install. So now I can remove the crank pulley, which I already loosened the bolt. And I'm gonna get my tool, same removal tool. It's the LS engine, and I'm gonna go ahead and remove this crank pulley and timing cover, and I'm gonna cut y'all back on, gang. All right, gang, we done went ahead and removed our crank pulley, removed the front timing cover. I just took a zip tie and zip tied it to the oil pan, because you have a sensor that's hooked up here to the oil pan. Now, I was gonna show y'all the trick that I do if I was going to keep this oil pump. I'm not sure, I might still do it, but either way, I have to take the oil pump off now, because I got a little trick where I scribe a mark here and line it up on a timing mark right here. If you can see, that's a timing mark right there. But I done rotated the engine playing around, and now I can't show it to y'all. So I'll show y'all on another video when I do another engine like this, because I don't want to confuse y'all. They got a few videos on YouTube where people do it while the engine is in the vehicle, because this oil pump has to be aligned if you remove it. So a lot of time guys won't remove this pump, because if you remove it, then it needs to be aligned. So I done went ahead and released the tension off of the tensioner, and I just stuck a alley key, as you can see, in there. And now the timing gear is loose, and I can go ahead and remove the timing gear. So let me get the timing gear off, and then I'll cut y'all back on. All right, gang, so now with the cam sprocket and the retainer out of the way, we can now go ahead and remove the cam. And I mean, if you deal with this stuff a lot, like I do, it wouldn't be a bad idea. It wouldn't be a bad idea to keep this cam, even though it's just a stock cam. It wouldn't be a bad idea to keep it, because you can always use it on the engine where you had a lifter failure and it wiped the lobe out the cam. You can always use that cam and just replace it with the stock fuel management lifters and get that engine back going again if you don't want to do a full DOD delete. So I'll probably keep that cam in the box, but right now what we getting ready to do is we gonna clean up our, well, not clean it up, but we gonna get our Texas Speed cam lubed up and ready to go in. It's a two-hand job, so I'll get it lubed up and get it in the engine, and then I'll show y'all the cam card, the specs on the cam, what we getting ready to put in. It's Willie Rebuild, gang. I'm gonna cut y'all back on in a minute, baby. All right, gang, we back. We done went ahead and got the cam installed. I went ahead and put the old cam retainer plate back on it. Gotta go get a new one. What else? See what else, gang. Oh, oil pump. I talked to the customer. He said the engine only had 36,000 miles on it, so he want to reuse the oil pump. Now, since I went ahead and walked the chain off the cam gear, cause that's the little trick that everybody use when they don't want to remove the oil pump, cause this oil pump has to be aligned if you reusing it. Now, if you buy a new one, they don't have no they don't really have no information out there that's saying that the new pump has to be aligned. And I'm thinking the reason why is because down here you got a seal right down here, and the oil pump seals to the pan. So I'm wondering if that's the reason why when you reuse the old pump that you have to line it up so the pump can get a good seal. I'm not sure. I don't have my tool over here with me, so I'm gonna bring the tool back, put the little tool in here to keep the pump aligned in the same position where it's at. I'm gonna pull the chain off, get the engine back in time, and go ahead and start reassembling the engine, gang. But we got our little passages blocked off. We got our latch cap on the fuel pump. Also, off camera, I went ahead and assembled the heads, put the new springs and seals in the heads. The heads are not in here, they're at the house. I was bored yesterday, had a little free time, and went ahead and put the springs in there. So the only thing I have to do to this engine now is put it back in time, align the pump, and basically put it back together, because we already got the cam installed. And I'm gonna change the cam bolt because this is a one-time use bolt. That's the old bolt in the cam. So that's about it for us with the engine. I'll bring y'all back along and show y'all the assembly process. But for us putting it back together, it's basically the same as putting the LS back together. You're gonna put your LS7 lifters in it. You're gonna replace your trays, which all that came with the kit from Texas Speed, and it's basically a straightforward assembly. Now, I ordered the brackets today, the alternator bracket, power steering pump bracket, because this engine don't come with a power steering pump. This engine has electric. Is it electric? I think these come with electric power steering, if I'm not mistaken. I think so. Yeah, this come with electric power steering. So the new bracket come with the power steering pump, alternator, compressor, everything gonna be a high mount setup. And actually, the kit that I'm gonna use is basically Lt1 accessories, but I'm not gonna use the alternator because this alternator here, I think on my new harness that it have the plug for this alternator, but the alternator that come with the brackets, I think it got a LS style connector for the alternator. So once that come in, let me see what else I got. I'm really just waiting on the headers. The Monte Carlo, I just finished. I just kind of dialed in the coilovers to like a factory setting almost in the front, because the car was sitting low on the ground at first. I had them zeroed all the way out. So I went ahead and did that. I repaired that brake line in the back, hooked the brake lines up. I drilled out a hole for the little brace, the BMR brace. And the only thing I got left for the Monte Carlo is to bleed the brakes and put some oil in the compressor. Put some oil in the compressor. Double check, make sure I got all the O-rings on the fittings. And then we gonna take this out of here. I've been very, very busy, gang. I've been busy at the other shop. I got a video on my phone. I'm gonna put it together and show y'all what I've been doing in between this. I should have that video coming out in the next few days because I'm finishing up one of the projects. I got one more over there, and then I'm gonna focus on what I got going over here at Area 51. As you can see, I got 1, 2, 3 engines in here and 2 at the machine shop, gang. It's getting ready to start raining hard, and it's gonna get loud up in this building. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. It's Willie Rebuild over and out, baby.